So we are in Urantia book in paper 12.3.9. And it says two, spiritual gravity. What was the one before?
Physical gravity.
Physical gravity, spiritual, and then the third one is mind gravity. So okay. Should we maybe go that one before that and just read that again? So we have all
Sure.
three in a kind of thing, or you
We
rather.
could go we could go to the beginning of the section. It's not that much further and it just gives it a little bit of clarity.
All right.
But that's an idea. But
All right, so we have a complete thing. I don't mind hearing this over and over. Who would be so kind to begin?
oh, universal gravity. All forms of force energy, material, mindal, or spiritual, are alike subject to those grasps, those universal presences, which we call gravity. Personality also is responsive to gravity, to the Father's exclusive circuit, but through this circuit,
But though,
but though this circuit is exclusive to the Father, he is not excluded from the other circuits. The Universal Father is infinite and acts over all four absolute gravity circuits in the Master Universe. 1. The personality gravity of the Universal Father. 2. The spirit gravity of the Eternal Son. Ah,
Yeah.
very. I just see those words and I was, 3. The mind gravity of the conjoint actor.
Mm.
4. The cosmic gravity of the Isle of Paradise.
See how you have,
These four circuits.
Alison, you see
Mm,
how you have like a constant connection to this, like we eventually have a
yeah,
constant connection to the Father and us, his Father to us. And so once it's in you, it's always in you. And these words do nothing but re-trigger that, and I can feel it. Like as soon as you read it, it becomes
ah,
communicative. And I love that. Because as soon as
well,
when you
I
truly feel
just
it,
see the words.
yeah,
Even just seeing the words, like, oh no, I have to read this words. I know what's going to happen.
because it
Oh,
generates the vibrational equivalent that's within you somewhere. As you can handle
yeah,
more and more, you know, uh, it
yeah,
reverberates more and more.
yes,
Yeah. And then the only art is to stay there, the art of staying,
yes.
art of presence, because
I I'm hoping that I can stay there without having to stop and just, I can stay there and continue
that's it.
with what we're doing.
Yes.
The cosmic gravity of the Isle of Paradise. These force circuits are not related to the Nether Paradise Force Center. They are neither force, energy, nor power circuits. They are absolute presence circuits, and like God, are independent of time and space. In this connection, it is interesting to record certain observations made on Uversa during recent millenniums. Recent millenniums.
yeah, good one, isn't it?
Oh dear. By the core of gravity researchers This expert group of workers has arrived at the following conclusions regarding the different gravity systems of the master universe. 1. Physical gravity. Having formulated an estimate of the summation of the entire physical gravity capacity of the grand universe, they have laboriously effected a comparison of this finding with the estimated total of absolute gravity presence now operative. These calculations indicate that the total gravity action on the grand universe is a very small part of the estimated gravity pull of paradise, computed on the basis of the gravity response of basic physical units of universe matter. These investigators reached the amazing conclusion that the central universe and the surrounding 7 super universes are at the present time making use of only about 5% of the active functioning of the paradise absolute gravity grasp. In other words, at the present moment, about 95% of the active cosmic gravity action of the Isle of Paradise, computed on this totality theory, is engaged in controlling material systems beyond the borders of the present organized universes.
Beautiful.
These calculations all refer to absolute gravity.
Mm.
Linear gravity is an interactive phenomenon which can be computed only by knowing the actual paradise gravity. 2. Spiritual gravity. By the same technique of comparative estimation and calculation, these researchers have explored the present reaction capacity of spirit gravity and, with the cooperation of solitary messengers and other spirit personalities, have arrived at the summation of the active spirit gravity of the second source and center. And it is most instructive to note that they find about the same value for the actual and functioning presence of spirit gravity in the grand universe that they postulate for the present total of active spirit gravity.
Most instructive.
In other words, at the present time, practically the entire spirit gravity of the eternal Sun computed on this theory of totality is observable as functioning in the grand universe. If these findings are dependable, we may conclude that the universes now evolving in outer space are at the present time wholly non-spiritual. And if this is true, it would satisfactorily explain why spirit-endowed beings are in possession of little or no information about these vast energy manifestations, aside from knowing the fact of their physical existence.
My God, I'm so cooked. So beautiful. Oh,
Number 3. Do you want to stop for a minute, Cole?
oh, it's just so delightful, you know. Oh, Mm.
Mm.
We can keep going. I'm just melting here early.
It raises the temperature.
Yes, it does, and I know, and it's crazy, and oh,
It's like a flame under the cauldron, and
yeah,
it starts to raise the temperature, and the bubbles start to rise.
and it's the frustration of not being able to really, like it feels like I'm talking about some kind of uh, amorphous sort of, you know,
Yeah,
it just so can't be fit into the perception of the human mind. It just cannot be even these words, they put it so eloquently, so beautifully, but it's like,
yeah.
ah,
It's a
yeah,
release from that, though, isn't it, as well? At the same time, like if you're trying to hold on to the human thinking, you can't.
yes,
It's a
because
release from that into something new.
yeah, but it does by this exquisite information. It also dislodges the old structures of what we now build
Yes,
up until now.
yes, yeah,
It's in the emptying, you know.
yeah.
Mm,
I mean, I was noticing this morning in my readings, for Course of Love, that how bound my mind still is in places, in ways, how
mhm,
bound it is. This is more like a release from that.
yeah.
I mean, I know he's working on that with us, but yeah.
Mm, yeah.
Anyway, I'll carry on. Number 3, mind gravity. By these same principles of comparative computation, these experts have attacked the problem of mind gravity presence and response. The mind unit of estimation was arrived at by averaging 3 material and 3 spiritual types of mentality. Although the type of mind found in the power directors and their associates proved to be a disturbing factor in the effort to arrive at a basic unit for mind gravity estimation. Mm.
Mm,
There was little to impede the estimation of the present capacity of the third source and center for mind gravity function in accordance with this theory of totality. Although the findings in this instance are not so conclusive as in the estimates of physical and spirit gravity, they are, comparatively considered, very instructive, even intriguing. These investigators deduce that about 85% of the mind gravity response to the intellectual drawing of the conjoint actor takes origin in the existing grand universe. This would suggest the possibility that mind activities are involved in connection with the observable physical activities now in progress throughout the realms of outer space. While this estimate is probably far from accurate, it accords in principle with our belief that intelligent force organizers are at present directing universe evolution in the space levels beyond the present outer limits of the grand universe. Whatever the nature of this postulated intelligence, it is apparently not spirit gravity responsive. But all these computations are at best estimates based on assumed laws. We think they are fairly reliable. Even if a few spirit beings were located in outer space, their collective presence would not markedly influence calculations involving such enormous measurements. Personality gravity is non-computable. We recognize the circuit, but we cannot measure either qualitative or quantitative realities responsive thereto. There you are.
Mm.
Oh. Ah.
I find it like a completely new idea that mind gravity could be measured, even, a little inaccurately, that it could be measured.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm.
Oh, and the spiritual gravity as well.
Say it again.
And spiritual gravity as well, that it could be measured somehow. But I suppose, if like we do have connection, and yeah, I
Yeah.
suppose of course it's possible.
Yeah, you can measure it by delight, how delightful it is.
Yeah. How much joy
Yeah, you wouldn't want to
it
know.
brings.
Or like how much love can you feel, surpasses all
Yes.
the information anywhere. Mm, beautiful. Ah, maybe anyone else wants to read, or shall I read?
You read if you want to, Cole.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Space and motion. Number 4. All units of cosmic energy are in primary revolution, are engaged in the execution of their mission while swinging, while swinging around the universal orbit. I know. It's like, it's almost like, almost that's what it feels like within. Like, as without, so within, and vice versa. Isn't it? It's like an orbit, like inner orbit that's not defined like macrocosmic orbit that goes from here to there. It just flows, and you can't put numbers on it, or direction, or where it's going. Because it's creation, isn't it? It's brand new. Otherwise, it wouldn't be called creation. Something that was created that wasn't yet. And how would you define it? And how would you compare? Like, how would you compare art? Hmm.
I just think of the revolution, the swinging around the orbits. I mean, it goes right down to what do you call it? The atomic level,
Mm.
and probably subatomic.
Yeah.
And those things, those energies, they've been proven to be able to communicate themselves with other atoms in completely different places.
Yes. Well, this is what we're awakening these sensations within us, with which we will able to understand some of these materials, not just mentally. it will be way more experientially and even way more like revelationary. That it just reveals a realm within you that you did not know existed. And next minute, you're getting used to being in that realm, living in and from that realm within yourself. So suddenly, instead of seeing other people the way you used to see them, you see them completely differently, as if they had the same realm. Mm.
Yeah.
Universes of space and their component systems and the worlds are all revolving spheres moving along the endless circuits of the master universe space levels. Absolutely nothing is stationary. Yes, except human's mind. Absolutely nothing is stationary in all the master universe except the very center of Havona. Wow. The eternal isle of paradise, the center of gravity.
Ah,
I guess that would be stationary or
has
still.
to be. Mm,
The unqualified absolute is functionally limited to space, but we are not sure about the relations of this absolute to motion. Is motion inherent therein? We do not know.
I don't know. The unqualified absolute is functionally limited to space.
Mhm. But they're not sure, huh? But we're not sure about the relations of the absolute to motion.
Right. Yeah.
They don't know.
It's too big for my mind. I can't get this one.
Yeah, we don't know either. And it's also okay not to know, huh?
Mm,
There's a beautiful space in that not knowing. Guys, I have to go to the loo. I can hear you if anyone else can read.
mm. I can read till Cog gets back if you like.
Yeah, okay.
Is motion inherent therein? We do not know. We know that motion is not inherent in space. Even the motions of space are not innate. But we are not so sure about the relation of the unqualified to motion. Who or what is really responsible for the gigantic activities of force energy transmutations now in progress out beyond the borders of the present 7 superuniverses? Concerning the origin of motion, we have the following opinions. 1. We think the conjoint actor initiates motions in space. If the conjoint actor produces the motions of space, we cannot prove it.
Mhm.
3. The universal absolute does not originate initial motion, but does equalize and control all of the tensions originated by motion. In outer space, the force organizers are apparently responsible for the production of the gigantic universe wheels which are now in process of stellar evolution.
Wow.
But their ability so to function must have been made possible by some modification of the space presence of the unqualified absolute. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're back, Cole. You want to carry on?
Yeah, thank you. Space is, from the human viewpoint, nothing. Hang on, just give me a sec. Yeah? Oh, maybe 1/3? Just don't overdo it. Can you continue, Alison, just for a second? My son is
Sure.
in need of a bit of attention.
Space is, from the human viewpoint, nothing. I don't know. Nothing negative. I don't know what they mean by that. It exists only as related to something positive and non-spatial. Space is, however, real. It contains and conditions motion. It even moves. Space motions may be roughly classified as follows. 1. Primary motion.
You warm enough?
Space respiration, the motion of space itself. 2. Secondary motion, Cole.
Ah, thank you, guys. Secondary motion.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Secondary motion, the alternate directional swing of the successive space levels. Number 3, relative motions. Relative in the sense that they are not evaluated with paradise as a base point. Primary and secondary motions are absolute. Motion is relation to unmoving paradise. Compensatory or correlating movement designed to coordinate all other motions. The present relationship of your sun and its associated planets, while disclosing many relative and absolute motions in space, tends to convey the impression of astronomic observers that you are comparatively stationary in space and that the surrounding starry clusters and streams are engaged in outward flight at ever-increasing velocities as your calculations proceed outward in space. But this is not the case. You fail to recognize the present outward and inform expansion of the physical creations of all pervaded space. Your own local creation, Nebadon, participates in this movement. Oh God, participates in this movement of universal outward expansion. So if that does it, you need to be able to do this too, huh? The entire the entire seven superuniverses participate in a 2 billion year cycles of
Ah. Ah. We've got a bit of slowing down to do.
2 billions only. Not 2 million, 2 billion year cycles of space respiration along with the outer regions of the master universe. When the universes expand and contract, the material masses is pervaded space alternately move against and with the pull of paradise gravity. The work that is done in moving the material energy mass of creation is space work, but not power energy work. Well, what's the difference?
Moving the material energy mass of creation. Space work, but not power energy work.
Although your spectroscopic estimations of astronomic velocities are fairly reliable when applied to the starry realm belonging to the superuniverse and its associate superuniverses. Such reckonings with reference to the realms of outer space are wholly unreliable. Spectral lines are displaced from a normal towards the violet by the approaching star.
And approaching star.
Likewise, these lines are displaced towards the red by the receding star.
Receding.
Receding, thank you. Many influences interpose to make it appear that the recessional velocity of the external universes increases at the rate of more than 100 miles a second for every million light years increase in distance.
Oh dear.
By this method of reckoning, subsequent to the perfection of more powerful telescopes, it will appear that these far distant systems are in flight from this part of the universe at an unbelievable rate of more than 30,000 miles a second. Oh, Jesus. But this apparent speed of recession is not real. It results from numerous factors of error, embracing angles of observation, and other time-space distortions. God, how you doing there, Kimmy?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
You're having a nod off there, are you?
No, I'm not asleep. I'm in some strange state. I don't know. Yeah, I can't describe it. It's just
Yeah, strange.
something different. Yeah.
Kevin?
Yeah. It's like that.
Well, it is because we are so accustomed to store information and, and compare it to what we know and see how it fits. This is just so vast that you just don't know what to do with it, huh?
Mm.
I just feel like I'll just leave it to the experts. I don't really care about
Yeah,
it.
neither.
No.
You know, I don't really care about the speed of things, and comparatively to clearly, it's well beyond what we can possibly
And
what is in our
Mm.
own ability to comprehend.
mhm.
I mean, even if they give us the numbers, it doesn't really mean anything to me because except that it's vast. It's vast.
Mm.
Yeah,
It'll be a relief to get to something that we can actually understand.
coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
But it's a revelation. You see, this is an epochal revelation. And so we are revealed things that we maybe now have some form of readiness, no matter how primitive and how base, sort of like base or basic or, you know.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, something happens. I mean, just with that, with seeing the word eternal son, it doesn't matter what's written around it. Something happens for me at the feeling level. There's an opening there. So it doesn't really matter what's being spoken about. I think, I'll try and understand it if I can, but I feel like I'm here for something I don't really understand.
Well, understandings come, sometimes some of the revelations that occurred, 20, 30 years ago, uh, with whatever I was doing at the time, took so long. Now I can look at it and go like, oh gosh, that's what that was.
Mm.
It just blows your mind for days, and you're just sitting there and absolutely stunned that such a thing can actually occur in a human being at all, and you can't make any sense out of it. And with all these different helps, like Course of Miracles and Course of Love, and this absolutely, um, these things are beginning to go like, oh, that was just my mind waking up, It's like,
Yeah.
oh, that was just my will begin to move, It's like, oh gosh, we have this amazing heart within us that's got nothing to do with the pump that runs the blood in the system. And then there is a more to heart than we possibly could even fathom.
Mm.
And then it all begins to fit even into this physical realm and, human and divine at the same time. And it's slowly unraveling through this profound feeling understanding, not just mental, not just emotional, but the whole realm of the. I think we're so lucky that we have applied the schools of feeling, as I keep on going on and about. Mm. But don't worry, Kim.
I'm not worrying.
How's the little one?
Yeah, good. They're going good. I'll be going over later. I've got to stay overnight because Jake's got trade school tomorrow. Yeah. So I'll be there tomorrow and tonight. Yeah.
Oh,
No, my daughter's like besotted. It's really interesting. Yeah,
oh,
to
It does
see. Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how close is that to creation, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
this being comes out of you and begins to respond to you.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like,
I think because she had the other one so quick, they're so close together, she
uh-huh,
realizes that this stage passes so quickly,
uh-huh,
she wants to make the most of it. So it's sort of,
yeah.
Yeah. What about the older one? How's the older one doing with this usurper?
yeah, good. Yeah, good. They took a little video of him in the hospital or he's leaning over the little plastic crib thing and he's patting him and feeling his little hand. And he gets down and feels his foot and he has a little chuckle. It's really, it's really cute. Yeah,
Oh, that's nice.
Covering
yeah. I think it's going to be lovely to watch them because they are so close together. How they, how they operate as brothers. Yeah, be interesting. Mm. But they seem to be quite totally different characters as well.
Well, it's likely.
Yeah, yeah.
yes, beautiful.
Mm.
Anyway, I'm just very grateful you guys pop in here every now and then and read these crazy materials. I so appreciate it. This is so lovely to do in a good company.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really quite amazing job. I so look forward to this
Mm,
every single time. And
me
even when
too.
we're sitting here, I'm going like, what the hell is all this about? Even that's delicious.
It's almost like it's just an excuse to be together, isn't it? In a
Yeah.
way.
It's what Kevin says. It's
Yeah.
like,
Well,
we read as far as we're hanging out.
Yeah.
it's a time for us to hang out, but there's something going on that we're not even
Yeah.
aware of, you know?
Oh,
It's just
absolutely. Yeah.
I just,
Oh,
I feel so apologetic that, to the universe to go on. I seem to be so slow to get this stuff. I just feel like,
You,
ah.
you're not slow, Alison, because
Oh no, but it just, I can see the vastness of this at times, and you know,
not slow at all because you're moving in the places that some of the human beings don't even dream they're actually of any value. It's like
this morning I had a
go through
really,
virtually reject feeling around. They go like, oh,
yeah, yeah,
they don't know what's behind it. They only hit the periphery and they go like, ooh, this is just the plebs and gunk. But that's just the periphery. When you begin
yeah,
to go through the periphery and begin to accept it and evolve the, the that place, you begin to be taken, virtually drawn within yourself to a place of such vastness, just like this is. Like this is the microcosm, macrocosm. What we're reading out there, what we think it's out there, is actually doing something within ourselves because the vastness within is I mean, hey, Jesus said it, didn't he? The kingdom of heaven is within you. It's not going out there somewhere, which we do in this world, and get a little satisfactions with sure or something.
problem with the feeling realm is that, the difficulty with it is that you actually have to allow those things you've always rejected because they were so painful. And,
But
I mean, I had that thing this morning. I had a thing this morning of recognizing that I have walked through this life as a wounded self,
mhm,
and I've rejected that woundedness.
yes,
And
yeah,
but that's I realize, that that's been my identity that I've held to,
mhm,
and that has to shift. And, but I had to allow it. And I saw the pattern in my family as well. I've seen the pattern all through my family.
well, because if you carry it in yourself, you see it wherever you look. Really,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
project it outwards and go like,
And
"Oh,
like,
there, it's over there."
yeah. And I
there
realize I
you
have
go.
to,
There you
the
are.
shift has to happen in me. And I don't want to be this victim of being wounded all my, like, for the rest of my days. It's got to be shifted. So on the one hand, I want to move it along, but on the other hand, it has to be experienced and allowed
Mhm.
before I can go through it. So double, it's a, almost two-edged.
Yeah,
It's tricky. It's tricky. But I can see why people don't want to go there.
Mm.
it's very tricky.
I'm also understanding, like, when Jung talks about the archetypes, this is what they are, these patterns that sort of control us almost.
Yeah.
But if you can't see them, the first step is recognizing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're so strong,
But then also,
Yeah.
when you begin to recognize the kingdom of heaven within you, you will be seeing it out there too.
Yeah.
That's bringing the, heaven and earth as it becomes as one.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't write about it.
Mm.
Well, we can try. And then everybody will interpret it differently, just like these books, there's like, I keep watching of some of the things, like the interpretations of it, like
Mm.
the variability of those interpretations are, as big as the whole universe, all cosmos.
Mm.
And no one's right. Because hey, what you knew 10 years ago, how pathetic was it? And how pathetic is going to be what you're going to see in 10 years' time, maybe.
Oh, don't give me 10 years, Cole. I look at yesterday. I go, really?
Yesterday, when was that?
Oh, no, just like more recent than 10 years ago.
Do you
I'm thinking,
remember
oh my
yesterday? You're lucky.
God. Did we get to the end of that section or did we get to 2 paragraphs before?
No, we're up to about the greatest of all such
Yeah,
distortions.
that's what I thought.
Where are we?
But the greatest.
The second last para. That bit.
My thing has moved here.
Yeah,
Last para of that.
of that
But the
section.
greatest of all.
Can you read from there? Kim, do you want to read?
Sure, yeah.
Thanks, honey.
I'll just read the last sentence of the previous one. But this apparent speed of recession is not real.
Mm.
It results from numerous factors of error, embracing angles of observation and other time-space distortions. Sounds like the Course, doesn't it? Course
Yeah.
in Miracles there. But the greatest of all such distortions arises because the vast universes of outer space in the realms next to the domains of the seven super universes
Tripping.
Something's funny.
seem to be revolving in a direction opposite to that of the grand universe.
Mm.
Seem to be. That is, these myriads of nebulae and their accompanying suns and spheres are at the present time revolving clockwise about the central creation. The seven super universes revolve about paradise in a counterclockwise direction. It appears that the second outer universe of galaxies, like the seven super universes, revolves counterclockwise about paradise. And the astronomic observers of Versa think they detect evidence of revolutionary movements in a third outer belt of far distant space, which are beginning to exhibit directional tendencies of a clockwise nature.
Wow.
Well, it is probable that these alternate directions of successive space processions of the universes have something to do with the intramaster universe gravity technique of the universal absolute. which consists of a coordination of forces and an equalization of space tensions. Motion as well as space is a complement or equilibrant of gravity. There you go. Uh, 5, space and time. Like space, time is a bestowal of paradise, but not in the same sense, only indirectly. Time comes by virtue of motion. Oh, right. Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And because mind is inherently aware of sequentiality,
Yes.
and because mind is inherently aware of sequentiality, from a practical viewpoint, motion is essential to time, but there is no universal time unit based on motion, except insofar as the paradise of Ona's standard day is arbitrarily so recognized. The totality of space respiration destroys its local value as a time source.
Wow.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay.
That was my first revelation. Like the time and space disappeared. Like they're just like little filters, and suddenly the filters are gone. And you can't, you in eternity.
Mm.
You can't measure it. You can't fit it into anything, because to measure it is the time, and to fit it into something is the space, and then suddenly not there. And you feel so discombobulated, and yet you feel so held in an embrace. Mm.
Mm. Space is not infinite, even though it takes origin from paradise, not absolute, for it is pervaded by the unqualified absolute. We do not know the absolute limits of space, but we do know that the absolute of time is eternity.
Right.
Time and space are inseparable only in the time-space creations, the 7 super-universes. Non-temporal space, space without time, theoretically exists, but the only truly non-temporal place is paradise area. Non-spatial time, time without space, exists in mind of the paradise level of function. The relatively motionless mid-space zones impinging on paradise and separating pervaded from unpervaded space are the transition zones from time to eternity. Hence the necessity of paradise pilgrims becoming unconscious during this transit, when it is to culminate in paradise citizenship. Time-conscious visitors can go to paradise without thus sleeping, but they remain creatures of time.
Amazing, huh?
It's interesting when you consider that we're actually like asleep. So I don't know if it's the same type of sleep. It's, yeah. Mm.
Well, later on, they talk about even in Moroncha worlds, you will be going from one world to another in a similar way. You're put to sleep basically, and boom, transported.
Yeah. Well, that happens in some science fiction movies that we see, doesn't it?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
they get in their little things and they go to sleep for however long. Ah, yeah. Relationships to time do not exist without motion in space, but consciousness of time does. Sequentiality can consciousize time. Is that how you'd say it?
Consciousize, that's a new word.
Yeah. Consciousize time, even in the absence of motion. Man's mind is less time-bound than space-bound. Oh, because of the inherent nature of mind.
Mm.
Even during the days of the earth life in the flesh, though man's mind is rigidly space-bound, the creative human imagination is comparatively time-free.
Mm.
But time itself is not genetically a quality of mind.
This is where Course in Miracles is just so profound because it it doesn't inform you. It helps you to dislodge these rigid structures in the mind, particularly judgmental patterns that create reality in which you find yourself. Yeah, you judge something and then it becomes your reality and then you see it everywhere. So it dislodges the mind from its fixed position. I love that line from the Course. Dislodges this rigidly bound um, constructs of the mind that then will stop projecting them and will begin to see reality instead of projections.
There are 3 different levels of time cognizance. 1, mind perceived time, consciousness of sequence, motion, and a sense of duration.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
2, spirit perceived time, insight into motion Godward, and the awareness of the motion of ascent to levels of increasing divinity. Ooh, I like that one.
Me too.
Yeah. 3, personality creates a unique time sense out of insight into reality, which is what you were just saying, Paul, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. Plus a consciousness of presence and an awareness of duration.
The world still hasn't realized that these are the later days teaching of Jesus, Course in Miracles, where he directly straight into your ear tells you what the truth, what you made up, that's not real. Helps you to dislodge it without distortions of the, I don't know, those that interpret what they think he said, which in most cases is wrong, including his 12 closest allies. Like he says it himself, like they did not truly understand me, and I understand why. Couldn't possibly. Mm-mm.
Unspiritual animals know only the past and live in the present.
Mm-hmm.
Spirit indwelt man has powers of prevision, insight. Spirit indwelt man has powers of prevision, insight. Prevision. That's a good word.
New one.
Yeah. He may visualize the future.
That vision, keep coming to that moment where you when you said, I have to close my eyes to be able to see the spirit of the other. Because you don't need, remember, you don't need these eyes to see. A vision is actually, and the Course says it, the body's eyes, but a vision has nothing to do with body's eyes. Vision is when you begin to truly see with your spiritual eye, or the Holy Spirit, the spirit of wholeness within you, or spirit of truth, they call it in Urantia book.
Yeah, and it was strange because it wasn't, like we see things with our eyes, but the other thing, I'm not actually seeing anything, so it was a bit discombobulating even, because I don't even know what I was seeing. It was just, I said, I see you, but I don't even know what that was.
Yes,
yes. It was so strange. Yeah.
But yet, she felt you seeing her. That was
yes. So something happened, but what that was, I've got no clue.
That is the holy instant that the Course of Miracle talks about.
Yeah.
Change your mind by your brother. Actually, the forgiveness is nothing but you realizing you were mistaken because you see something that's not there. So, people trying to forgive, but forgiveness is just that you realize that, oh, maybe I'm not seeing this correctly. You stopped your rigid mind that goes like, this is like this and this is like that and that fits in here. You maybe loosen up a little bit. That's why the Byron Katie's process is also so beautiful because, no matter what I say, you could say, yeah, well, is that really true? I'll say no.
Yeah.
Immediately joy comes in. Every time you go like, well, because you're dislodging this rigid structure and go like, you no longer holding on, come back into the expanding flow that you naturally are. Like just like the sun in the sky, it just shines. So do you when you do. But when you forget that you can shine.
That question, is it really true, is a bit like being told to remember it's just an old pattern.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a bit like that question. It's just,
it's so beautiful
really
because
true. It's just an old pattern.
It's so beautiful because he when you look at it, you actually throw in a little bit of a doubt that what you think is true might not be just really true. And that doubt cracks the structure and just brings a tiny little bit of light in. And that tiny little bit of light in is all enough to dislodge the wall.
Yeah.
Very,
But I realize it's those rigid structures that something in me wants to smash down.
yes,
And
that's it.
and something happened at the coffee morning. It was quite interesting. We were sort of confronting that lady who's very rigid. And you can feel and see this rigid structure she's built up around herself, She can't see it, but anyway, I got so frustrated I went, I made this growling sound. And the lady next to me completely got it. She looks at me and nods her head, yes. It was so funny. But I realized, I was just frustrated with coming up against this rigid thing,
Yes.
And it's really.
You can create a totally rigid world based on interpretation of A Course in Miracles.
And it was
if you don't let the Course take you and you start taking Course where you think it should go because you interpret what it says, you're creating not a Chinese wall, the China wall. You're making it like 3 times bigger, and it's just become rigid and murderous.
It was so clear. Like she actually shared what she really believes about herself, which is, like a lie, not really true, but she believes it. And then suddenly she's just spouting out the course, and there was such a complete disconnect between the two. It was unbelievable, you know? And I realized, oh, there's really nothing I can do about it. Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. That's her. That's where she's at, and
The only
That's her survival mechanism. You know, it's okay. But
only
yeah, there's this real frustration in me. Yeah,
you can do about it, and that, you know, you're gonna nail me for this, but you can always do something about it, because somewhere
true,
in
true. Yeah.
reality, this personality is reflecting a part of you that's rigid.
Oh yes, I've got my own rigid
Oh,
structures that I can't see. Yes,
So
yes,
you
yes.
so you just go and go, God, Spirit, Jesus, whoever the fuck can hear
Yeah.
me, can you show me where that thing over there is living in me?
Oh,
And when
because actually, yes, I want to smash it in myself. It's not her.
yes, beautiful,
Yes,
beautiful.
yes.
So that's advanced. When you go like, I just want to where is that? Because when you find it in you, the minute you see it, it's almost like it merely disappears. You see it, like that's forgiveness. You see it and you go like, oh my God, I constructed this.
Mm,
At the same time, you will see the actual reality, the truth. And when you see the truth and the bullshit you made, you will let this go just like you know, like if you realize you're holding a
yeah,
snake and you just go, oh shit, you know, and that's
yes.
forgiveness is the lesson 46, I think it is, says, God is the love in which I forgive. When you begin to experience the love that's available in comparison to what you are holding on to, you will let this go so quickly.
Yeah.
That's why the Course of Miracles is profound in dislodging these structures and brings you into this moment where you see the truth. You
Mm.
experience the truth. You know, she says,
Like
see,
what you were, yeah, like what you were saying before, Alison, about seeing that pattern of
yeah,
whatever it
yeah,
was. That's the same. It was a rigid structure that you built up.
yeah, yeah.
And it's, I think in one of Eckhart Tolle's books, he talks about he was walking along with someone
hmm
and they saw this partly destroyed building. There was a fire or something, and it said a sign saying, "Be careful. The structure is like, you know,
yeah,
could fall down at any moment." That's the same. And he made some comment along these lines. Yeah, like all these structures are,
hmm
you know, they're going to fall down. Like they're not solid. And
solid. They appear to be solid, but they actually just,
yeah,
it's just
and
like,
they're just holding up a false belief system. Yeah.
yeah, you can
Oh,
do any body of work if you hold the whole work in your mind, like if you do this mentally, then you
mm.
just you can even construct yourself even more thick.
Yes, yes.
And if you think the mind, the mental aspect of creation is all there is, and you don't know that there is a deeper levels that have nothing to do with perception whatsoever, like none.
Yeah.
What you think is just completely useless in that place.
Yeah, but if we've built up a particular mind structure, we can knock that one down and build another one. Just like kids make build up the blocks, they smash it down, they build another one, they smash it down. Like
And we
it's a constant recreation of things going on all the time.
yes,
Well, that's why we're told to recognize things as the
Yeah.
old pattern, as the old pattern. Let that one go. It's the old pattern.
But this is interesting, like what it's saying here, unspiritual animals know only the past and live in the present.
hmm
So they've got no capacity to see beyond that. That's like being stuck in one of these structures, isn't it? That they've got no hope of getting out. Like they're stuck in that animal
yeah.
structure.
Well, it says somewhere in your Urantia book, is it that the thought adjuster feelingly, actually, let me find it because it's such a, sometimes there are just like a one-liners in here that are just Oh, I love this.
Oh my God. Sorry, I was just reading the next sentence.
So much fun.
Because I got upset with a neighbour who just wants to believe that like we're just animals, but we're not. You know, we're spirit indwelt. I thought animals had spirits. Must be just a different kind, perhaps. I don't know.
It says unspiritual animals, but I don't know if that means all animals are unspiritual. I don't know. It's sort of like leaves that question in my mind.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So while you're looking, Cole, can I
Mhm.
read a bit more?
Please do.
Spirit indwelt man has powers of prevision, insight. Insight.
Mhm.
Yeah. He may visualize the future. Only forward-looking and progressive attitudes are personally real. Static ethics and traditional morality are just slightly super animal. And I just think of all the Jewish traditions where they just follow those rigid rules century after century. You know,
Mm.
it's like they're
Yes.
just slightly super animal. They're
Mhm.
super animals.
Mhm.
Super animal. Oh, I like that phrase. Anyway, it's just completely. But yet we've all got our rigid structures where we're just slightly super animal.
Yeah, I've got it now. Listen to this one. But it is the indwelling thought adjusted that attaches the feeling of reality to the
Mm,
man's spiritual insight into the cosmos. So yeah, it gives you like this feeling thing. That feeling will give inspiration to a next level of thinking.
mm,
Because will is that which actually inspires. We think
mm,
the spirit inspires, but in a way, it is the will that inspires a new way of seeing, new way of thinking. So,
mm.
thought adjuster, we think because it says thought adjuster, yeah, but he adjusts your thoughts through the fact that he attaches a feeling reality into the man's spiritual insight. So it's like he's like, hey, feel this. You will think differently. You will not be able to think the way you thought before. So the
Oh,
whole structure of the world disappears. And suddenly find yourself so naked in a
Mm,
creation. Yeah. And then you begin to grow there. It's almost like the birth of Christ within. It becomes a baby and you actually grow with it. But there is a specific awakening of the heart of the Christ within that creates the little baby within, which is your own heart. And then you got to nurture it. You got to be careful
yeah,
that the Herod doesn't kill it, which is your thinking, right?
mm,
And that's what that thought adjuster is. It actually helps you in a feeling way. The feeling is the cause, and then
mm.
different way of thinking is the effect. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah. Well, I do listen to these Swedenborg talks for some reason lately a lot. And they're saying that, yes, that feeling part, that is the God part.
Well,
That's
right.
God experiencing through us is that. Yes.
if your
Like,
feeling capacity is not evolved, then you
yeah,
can't feel God. You
yeah,
only think
yes, yes,
and imagine, but you can't really experience.
yes. Yeah, the next sentence is good too.
Yeah, give it us.
Nor is it Stoicism?
Yep.
A high order of self-realization. Ethics
Oh,
and morals become truly human when they are dynamic and progressive, alive with universe reality. Right.
I looked up Stoicism. It says the endurance of pain or hardship without
Yes.
the display of feeling,
What was that? I missed a bit, Cole. The endurance of pain or hardship.
without the display of feelings,
Uh,
without
Oh,
yeah.
right. So in a way, like this grasping onto the old structures, the painful structures, that's what you're doing. It's this stoicism, isn't it?
Yes.
Maybe, yeah. The human personality is not merely a concomitant of time and space events. The human personality can also act as the cosmic cause of such events. Wow.
that's where the miracles come in.
Oh,
Ah,
Beautiful.
wow.
right.
Hmm. That's amazing. Did you just read? Sorry, I had to just jump off a second. Did you read that the human personality thing?
Yeah.
It's not
The
merely,
human,
yes.
yes.
Cosmic cause of events.
I'm not sure what concomitant actually, I get the sense of what it means, but I couldn't explain it.
Well, I can just look it up straight away
The
because
human personality can also act as the cosmic cause of such events.
naturally accompanying or associated.
Right, okay.
I mean, where's concomitant?
All right, guys, we're done, or how is it?
Well, I mean, I just want to look at that idea. The human personality can also act as the cosmic cause of such events. So they're
Time and
surely
space events.
they're surely referring to the ability to be a miracle worker,
Hmm. Yeah.
which is what I want to. I want to be able to affect time and space in a positive way because the world is in such a need of it.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
I think we just do
do.
it
It's
by
what I'm
default,
constant.
don't we? We do it by default because we don't know that we're doing it,
Yeah.
and we can choose to do it in a different way. I wonder if we can only do that because we can visualize the future. I'm not sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the next
Mhm.
bit says that the universe is non-static.
Yes.
Stability
Nice.
is not the result of inertia, but rather the product of balanced energies, cooperative minds, coordinated Morontias, spirit over control, a personality unification.
Yeah.
Stability is fully and always proportional to divinity.
Mm.
It's like you get dropped into this place where it's perfect peace.
Mm.
Just for a second, perfect peace. Where the mind is no longer rambling the nonsense that it's been programmed with. And there is a silence. Just go, oh. Mm, mm.
Mm. So this book came out before A Course of Miracles, didn't it?
Yes, in
Yeah.
1955.
Yeah. Interesting.
Oh,
Mm.
perfectly, because it gives you the overall structure. It tells you what it is all about. Course of
Mm.
Miracles doesn't tell you what it is all about. Course of Miracles equally amazing in that sense that it helps you to deconstruct your judgment patterns that
Mm.
will decompose the structures of your mind, you know.
But I do wonder, like, if you've studied this book before, A Course in Miracles, and it might have been a lot easier to take into the mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very easy to make it very mental
Yeah.
and remember all of it and know where everything is. And oh, this is in the paper. So, well,
Yeah.
until you have that religious experience where the mind is just a joke and everything in it, most of it, it stops being so rigid.
Well, it's not a joke. It's just that it's been.
Like you can say, "Call you completely wrong," and I say, "Yep, absolutely agree." Yeah,
Well,
you no
no,
longer fight. You no longer
it's
fight.
just the way that we've used it has been a joke, I think. The way that we've.
I mean, the same happened in the Course of Miracles. You know, like it's just you can memorize the whole book and be a complete fool.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so it's like just the same as being a Bible basher, isn't it? Just like,
Yeah, yeah.
so you can use a concept to pound yourself and other people, but it's not going to make you right or have an experience.
But I think is Course of Love is so masterfully done that
Yes.
you can't when you can you remember any sentence from Course of Love?
It's so hard, isn't it?
It's so hard
Well,
in such a way that
yeah.
you can't make a Bible bashing with it. You basically go quiet after Course of Love. There's something settles down in you. You go like, oh shit,
Yeah, this is true, isn't it?
isn't it?
You can't
It's so
grasp
interesting.
onto it.
It's
You
so
know, he just, it's full of subtleties that build on each other.
yes, that you can
And
grasp it.
yeah, you can just barely grasp it. This one. And when you finally, yeah, I've kind of got that. And then he gives you another one. Oh,
Yeah, you
Oh,
can't.
okay.
maybe that's why. Maybe that's why a lot of those, of course, people poo-poo it. They can't like.
The fascinating thing because if you go on any kind of like a Facebook Course in Miracle sites, there is so much. Everyone's so fucking right about this book. Whereas you go
Oh,
on the Course of Love group and there is like silence in there.
Yeah.
yeah.
No one's arguing about what's what.
I,
No one's trying to convince you. No one's trying to teach at you.
Mm.
I don't
No,
know if you guys have ever seen the Robert Perry book, Course in Miracles.
Robert
I've
Perry.
seen it.
And
Yeah.
so he included all sorts of stuff in there, like
Oh, that. Oh,
Helen's stuff about being a priestess. But his comments, my God, he's just so stuck.
oh, totally.
I've been trying to sell it because I've got a copy of it and I've been trying to sell it because I don't want to have
I will
his
buy it.
comments. But then I wouldn't want to sell it to anyone either. So that's probably why it hasn't sold
Oh,
because
but
I wouldn't want someone to have that as their experience.
yes.
I probably would say, maybe I should put it up and say, hey, you can have this book if you want to collect it, but I would recommend you don't listen to his comments because the guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
That's exactly what why Course of Love was given because of the misinterpretation of A Course of Miracles.
Oh man,
Oh my
it's
God.
terrible stuff. He's constantly making connections that aren't there in his mind and then teaching that as if it's true.
But
Well,
that's interesting
Anyway,
that you can't. But that's really interesting what you say, Paula. With the course of love, it's not possible to do that.
yeah,
Seems that's like
yeah, yeah.
that's a
Well,
miracle in itself, isn't it? Like,
that's a
what?
miracle. I mean, miracle is when you begin to feel, that's a miracle. If
Yeah.
you begin to ever feel you're like, oh my God, miracle, impossible has occurred. You begin to feel something and you begin to see that the answer is more in a feeling than in your head. Because the feeling in the deep, profound feelings, again, oh my God, I don't know about my pictures. My photos are not working very well. Uh, it says, you drop in so deep that you are you're left for words. It becomes the unspeakable love. Why is it called unspeakable love in Course in Miracles? Because you can't speak it. I mean, you talk
Yeah.
about it. That chill touches your lips.
I guess that A Course of Love works because you have to really want it, and wanting is a feeling thing. You have to be connected with some kind of feeling to even want to go there.
Well, Marie Perron, she wrote another trilogy that's
Yeah.
more feeling oriented. And in one of the books, it says misinterpretation of Course in Miracles was one reason that created need for a course of love, but not the
Right.
main
Yeah.
reason. Can you see the misinterpretation that started early? People open the book and start teaching it instead of teach only love means become love and just sit there and
Yeah.
not go around and bash people with saying like, this is how you have to do it. Misinterpretation of A Course in Miracles was one reason for that created a need for a course of love, but not the main reason. The main reason was that A Course in Miracles set an evolutionary change in motion. In the same way, A Course of Love created a revolutionary motion that became the advent of the ways of Marys, which is to me like kind of like a bit reduced version to a right use of will. They kind of begin to remind you that hey, feeling is a very important thing. That's why it's a conversation with Mary. Yeah, the feeling realm. These works, and then he says, these works are evolutionary as well as revolutionary. They change people. They change the
Mm.
trajectory of humanity. Holy works need to change as their readers change and as those so changed change the world. When you change, your world around you becomes different. It's
Mm.
not the other way around.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
It's not by teaching others,
Oh,
but it's by undoing yourself through miracle, through this amazing revelation of your Urantia. You change yourself and then you begin to see the reality differently.
I
Failure to
definitely.
recognize holy
Yeah.
works that begin to catch up with the evolution of humanity is unfortunate.
Sorry, say that again.
It says, to failure to recognize holy works that
Mm.
begin to catch up with the evolution of humanity is unfortunate.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway,
Oh,
or my
I think
beloved,
I have to constantly be reminded that the world will it changes around me as I change.
as you
I just
change.
have to keep on doing this. I
yeah,
just keep on. Yeah.
which is
I
what
need to
is
get offline.
which is what we just read, isn't it?
That's
The
it.
human
Yeah.
personality can also act as the cosmic cause of such events.
Mhm. Yes. All right, sweetheart. I promised my son we are going to play music together, so he's already
Oh,
plucking away
have
next
fun.
door.
That'll be fun. Yeah.
I'm going to a Bruno Gruning meeting this afternoon, so that'll be interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
I'll just go and see what's going on, if there's anything happening, and if there isn't, so be it. Wasted an hour and a half or something, you know.
just got to feel it.
But
Do
Yeah.
something.
go and have a look. I'm just a bit curious.
Why not?
See what they're doing with it.
Yeah,
Whatever,
I was
whatever
curious.
magnetizes you in with interest, it's probably something there for you.
I'm a little bit curious. I'm not like, oh, this is going to be. I'm just a little bit curious. I'll just go and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there may be nothing. I'm quite prepared for that, but go and see. I'll go and see.
All right, darlings, you can continue. I'm just gonna zoom out.
Yeah. Yeah,
All right.
see you, Cole. Yeah.
Bye, Cole. Have a nice morning with your son.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Alison, it's interesting
Sounds gone.
because this man, he performed miracles on a big scale, and they sort of basically killed him in a sense for doing it. But I was just listening to a talk on YouTube, again, the Swedenborg thing, and they were saying it's like even if someone came and performed miracles today right in front of you, they ultimately don't, it doesn't work because it's like compelled from the outside. And the only thing
Yeah.
that works is if we come to our own understanding from our internal stuff. So
I could
when
see there
someone,
were people there on those movies. They had been changed. There were the odd one who had been really changed inside from what had
yeah.
happened to them.
So what happens is a miracle performed in front of you works temporarily on your outer mind, but eventually falls down because it hasn't come from your inner mind. It has to work.
Yeah.
It's from the inside out. So anything imposed or compelled onto you from the outside doesn't have any real effect
Right.
because you have to choose.
Yeah.
It has to come
But
from you,
I
you know?
felt like
Yeah.
the people who received miracles surely were had an openness to that. They would have had to.
Yeah, they must have. Yeah, yeah.
But
But just
anyway, I'm just curious as to,
witnessing one doesn't necessarily work. Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed in one of the thing. I mean, I've watched a lot of the little movies they made. One of them, they're all standing around his grave, and I think, what are you doing? All standing there looking at his grave. I mean, don't idolize the guy, like I don't know.
I
It
don't
just
think they look at any shadow stuff at all. Like the meetings I went to, eventually I got exasperated because it was very rigid in
yeah,
how it was
yeah,
carried out, and you weren't allowed to talk about anything negative. Like it was really a bit,
yeah.
they weren't open to anything
You're
negative.
not allowed to talk about anything negative.
Yeah, like
Wow.
yeah, well that was my experience. And
How
yet
long ago was that, Kim?
not that long ago. Would have been sometime last year,
Oh,
might have
yeah.
even
Well, you were
been the year
still doing
before.
these
Like I had a good
groups.
look at it, but I realized it wasn't for me
Yeah,
because there was stuff going on within the fellow who ran it, right? He was very rigid, and he was always reminding you, how you sat, if you were sitting the wrong way, to be right onto you, and like we are with the words,
yeah,
like the reading. But there was, so he was there, and his wife was involved, but there was something going on with her, like she was so unhappy, like you could feel
yeah.
it, and yet he was
There,
denying it, like he wouldn't allow her to be that way.
yeah,
So it was all fucked up, like just had to get out away from there in the end. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
And there's a bit of a recurring theme happening here with you and your rigidity.
Yes, isn't it? So, wow. Well, one structure came down, wasn't it? The one that I had going with Dennis. Like
Yeah.
I suddenly saw that, and I feel that's demolished. So obviously, yeah, I'm going to look at the next one now.
Well, it's got to be a theme for all of us at some level, hasn't it? If it keeps coming up
Yeah,
in this group, we're all here.
yeah.
I mean,
But
I was looking at that this morning about how rigid my mind has been, like how bound my
yeah,
mind has been,
and it's so hard to see. Like, it took all these years and years of
Yeah.
the same thing
And I
coming
have
at me.
no idea of other areas of rigidity. That I have no idea. I'm just going through them one at a time as I'm directed, as well
Exactly
as I'm
like,
able to.
but this is the recognition of it where you're getting frustrated, and or for me, I can see my frustration is trying to show me something, and this person is teaching me. Like they might be unconscious of what they're doing, but it's still happening. Like it's still showing up and trying to show me something that because I'm so rigid, I'm not
Yeah,
seeing. I think it's
yeah,
them, you
yeah,
know.
Yeah.
Mm.
Right. I
And I
mean, it's a
wonder,
really
and
big thing, isn't
Alison, with it's probably unlikely that Graham Wood will be there, but if he's, because he might be visiting from Australia to New Zealand. But if Graham Wood's there, I think it would be quite different because Graham's a Course in Miracles, and he's had quite a awakening himself. So
it? Yeah.
it
This
All
is
wouldn't be
true.
right.
different.
That'll be
Yeah,
This
interesting.
is
I mean, I'm just going to go
true.
and see what it is, but that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving me the name. So if
mm,
he's there,
Yeah, I
I'll
think it
probably
depends on the
say,
people involved in the group, really. Yeah.
yeah,
mm, yeah. We
yeah.
had him on in bed with Kevin on Sundays. He's the first one we had on there to give a talk. It's on Annie's
Oh,
website.
she does.
Follow who
Does she do
900.
like a blog or something or a vlog or something?
Yeah, yeah. She's yeah, I might yeah.
In bed with Kevin on Sundays, did you say?
Yeah, it's in Annie. There's a recording of it in Annie's website.
Right. Ah.
And
What's his name? Wood. Something Wood.
Graham Wood, yeah, or
Graham
Wood,
Wood. Graham Wood.
Wood or Woods, Wood, Graham
It
Wood.
was interesting because when I first started studying A Course in Miracles, I went to Kate's house, and at one point Graham Wood was there, and I remember we were having
Remember we're
lunch.
recording, eh? So just
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know why Cole didn't stop it. I can't stop it. I don't think.
oh, it's not a bad thing, but we were um, having lunch, and I was aware of him standing next to me, but I couldn't look at him. I was aware of something there, some presence.
ah,
I couldn't look at it. I
ah,
realized, oh my God, couldn't look at him. It was really interesting. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Graham Wood. Oh, I remember that.
Mm.
3 o'clock this afternoon. I'll
Yeah,
go
no,
there
I'm
a
sure
little
you'll find
early.
it interesting because he's
Oh,
a
it's
very
funny.
interesting fellow. This man, yeah.
It's a funny thing because I remember a few weeks ago I did an art workshop at this place. Same room in the same place, and I've never been there before.
Oh,
So, well, that's interesting.
well, you're open to this healing and everything. Something might happen, you know. I wasn't at
I
the,
sort of had the feeling that there might be something that even if nothing else seems to be going on, that there could be something in there that I hear something
yeah,
that
yeah,
I
because
have been wanting to hear, or like I don't know. I just feel like I just want to go along and have a look. And
yeah,
what the
yeah,
hell? It's Sunday. I've got nothing else to do. I don't have anyone else here to keep me company, so I'll
yeah,
just go and see what happens. And if nothing
yeah,
else, I've had a
yeah,
little outing.
yeah.
You
I
know?
feel I'm much more open now than what I was when I went. But there was something that did happen to me in the first introductory thing. I was the only person at the introduction. But
Really?
something happened. Yeah, I can't remember what it was. It was something to do with animals. And I thought, oh, and that having that experience got me to go back. But I think that was all I needed because when
Yeah.
I went back, it didn't really work for me. So, yeah, that's interesting. Maybe you just need the one experience sometimes of something.
Mm.
Anyway, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I reckon something will happen.
Oh, we'll just see how.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah.
so grateful for this group, but
Mm.
I mean, I find it bizarre that I can read the Urantia book, the beginning of the Urantia book, and have light experiences
I know,
doing it.
isn't it? Right.
It's like first time I tried it was unbelievably boring. Like,
I
how could
couldn't
anyone
read it. I
do
couldn't read
this?
it at all. Yeah, I couldn't read
You
it at
know?
all on my own. Yeah, it's too.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
Um,
having
yeah.
trouble reading it with you guys.
yeah.
It's like it's just I'm waiting for the good
It
the
maybe
good
not
part.
your thing, Kevin, but I'm very, very happy that you're here because I like having you here.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. You're like
I
the
just wonder if it's
you're
not
like the
really the
backbone or something. I don't know.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Maybe you have no idea, but you have a function here, and you might not know what it is, but you're here for a reason.
Yep.
Yeah, I
You
remember
just have
actually
moments of something, don't you? I mean,
I remember doing some inner work with the church I used to go to, and it was all women except for the lady who was running it, her husband. and he was always there. He didn't necessarily say much, but she said something along the lines of, he's necessary to hold the space or something,
Right. Yeah.
you know?
Well,
And
that's exactly what you're doing, Kevin, because it's
yeah,
even
yeah,
in your
but
name.
it wouldn't have worked without him there. And
Right. Yeah.
I didn't really understand at the time, but I think now I can understand it more what she was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
Mm.
we don't really know
Yeah. You're
from a
very
spiritual
value.
perspective
I value your
what we're doing.
presence, Kevin.
Mm.
I value all of your presences, but I want to say that to
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
Kevin. I value your presence.
But this is the thing, isn't it? It's our presence. It's not the job we do
Yeah.
or necessarily what we say. It's
Yeah.
that presence that's the thing. Yeah. So I can't
Mm.
imagine, like, our coffee mornings, Kevin, because you're usually the only male then. And I
Mm.
think that's
Oh,
like,
really?
it's crucial. I think it'd be a different whole
Yeah.
kettle of fish if you weren't there. I can't even imagine
That's
what
got
it
to
would be
be
like.
that's got to be
Well,
hard.
you've been
Well, I
there.
would think that would be a hard experience being the only bloke there.
No, it's not hard at all.
It's not hard.
Not hard for
No,
you, Kevin.
I'm
Maybe for
actually,
another bloke.
it'd be harder for me if I was in a group with all men.
Would
That would be
Yeah,
it?
hard. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. It's interesting,
You've had
isn't
it
it?
once, Kim. I went. I didn't go once when you went. That was all right.
you
Yeah, it would be
didn't
all
go
right,
once
but it
when.
would be
Oh, right. Yeah.
different.
Yeah, yeah,
It would be
yeah.
different. Sorry, what was that, Alison?
Oh, no, it's all right. I just couldn't
Oh,
understand something, and I've got to.
Well, it's different when anyone's, any change of personality comes or goes. It's quite different.
but I think it
But
really is
one
necessary.
person coming and going, even in a large group, can really change the group dynamics hugely. It's
Yeah, but I really think it's important to have the mix of male and female in groups. Um, if it's
Yeah,
all one or all the other, there's some lack of balance happening.
yeah.
Doesn't seem
And it
quite.
seems like, most groups that in the past I've gone to were mainly female dominated, but these ones we do with Cole are usually fairly well balanced. Yeah.
it is actually, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it
Mhm.
started out being more women, but it got more and more balanced. From memory, it started out with more women, and then
Yeah, it depends, which group it was. Yeah, in the beginning, because all the women who were going to the other group sort of came to this group and then,
yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's nicely balanced. I mean, even this one is two and two.
yeah, it's true, isn't
Sweet.
it?
Yeah.
Mm.
Anyway, it's lovely to see you guys.
mm,
Yeah, have a good day. Yeah,
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 you
enjoy
too.
the
I wouldn't mind.
Bruno
I actually should
Groening.
go to one of those meetings myself.
Groening,
That Bruno
Groening. How do you say it? Groening,
Uh,
something.
grinning, grinning, grinning.
groaning, groaning.
Groening.
When you go there, it's groaning.
That's what Penelope did.
Ah.
They're groaning.
Ah, Bruno whining. Ah.
Oh,
No, I'm being stupid now. Ah, really?
Mm. Mm. Ah.
Oh, golly. Golly, golly.
Mm.
ah. Mm.
Now we're all going to finish up with a meditation. I want you to put your feet flat on the floor, sit up
Yeah.
straight into chair, and put your hands in your lap, palms up, and think about something beautiful.
Mm.
Oh,
Mm. Mm. How was that?
yeah, that was good, wasn't it?
That was good. Yeah, felt like I had about 4 or 5 meditations in one, like it kept shifting from one
Yeah,
thing to another. Oh,
yeah, it's different to normal meditation. Yeah.
yeah, I think I
I mean,
could,
my mind still kept wandering off, but it
yeah, might too.
was different. Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
Oh, the sun's out. Mm.
Yeah. Yes. Oh,
I don't want to move.
mm.
Oh, okay. Better head off.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh,
see you Tuesday.
yeah, see you Tuesday, Kev. Yeah,
Okay. See you,
yeah.
Kim.
Bye.